I'm now live. All right, guys, what's going on? It's Coach Bronson, and we are going to talk about macros, protein, being carnivore, changing your body composition, all that kind of stuff. In the last 24 hours, I've gotten several people asking me questions that have to do specifically with body composition, what workouts they need to be doing to change their body composition, as well as what's up, Cabal, as well as what's the best way to maximize protein intake, that kind of stuff. So we're going to try to filter through some of these different things. Okay. All right, let's talk about body composition first of all. When we talk about body composition, we're talking about how much body fat do you have? How much muscle do you have? That's what we're talking about. So there's two ways to change your body composition. There is increasing muscle mass or decreasing body fat. Okay. One or the other. The way that you do that can be a combination of nutrition and fitness, exercise. The questions you want to ask yourself are understanding that whatever you do to get to a point is what you have to do to maintain it. So if I want to do everything possible to lose body fat, then whatever I did to do that, to get there, I need to keep doing that to keep it off. Okay, so sustainability and what's realistic for how we live our lives is a big part of this equation. All right. That's why I like to focus on building muscle and building physical ability over fat loss, because it's easier to sustain the activities that you're going to need to do to maintain physical ability, which will in turn lead to better body composition and fat loss than if you just try to do things to lose fat, because then you're not doing anything necessarily to improve physical ability. Okay. Physical ability is the definition of quality of life. So that's what we're shooting for. You can lose weight and lose fat and still not have a good quality of life. And that's not what we need. That's not what we want. Okay. So when we talk about body composition, let's focus on the muscle building part first. You need protein, you need resistance training, and you need sleep. Those are the three core things that you need to build muscle, period. Okay. So if you're getting enough protein, which we'll talk about in the second half of this discussion, if you're getting enough protein, you're going to build muscle. Okay, some people will build muscle just because they're finally getting enough protein and their body has the tools that it needs to build muscle. So I have clients that I work with, people I see all the time, who just by increasing their protein intake, they start gaining lean mass because they have literally been protein deficient for so long. Their body has not had enough to do what it needs to do with. Okay. So improving your metabolic function is a direct cause of improving your lean mass. So if you increase your protein, you can improve your metabolism just by making that one little change. Just add 10, 15 grams of protein to every meal, and you could see a huge difference in how you feel, how you perform, your overall health, all that stuff. Okay. So increasing your protein, number one. Number two, resistance training. If you are not lifting weights that are heavy and challenging, then you're not going to grow muscle. Your muscles need to get tired and need to be challenged in order for them to be signaled and told that you want them to grow. Okay. Just doing a workout program. And a lot of people get caught up in this idea of, I'm doing my program, how come I'm not growing? Well, your program isn't challenging you. That's pretty much why you're not growing. Okay. Your program is great, but if you're not pushing the weight, a lot of programs, let's say we're doing reps and sets. If you have a program that says do 5 sets of 5 reps of bench press or 5 sets of 5 reps of squat, and you do 5 sets of 5 reps, you put the weight away and you go home and you're like, okay, that was cool. I did my workout. That's not going to do anything for you. You should be doing your 5 sets of 5, wondering every set, can I get all 5 of these? Okay. If you go into your workouts and into the challenge of your physical training without the question of, will I be able to finish this? Can I push through? How much more can I do today? Something that's pushing you to be more challenged, then it's not changing you. No challenge, no change. If you're not growing, if you're not building lean mass, it's because you're not telling your muscles that you need to. Okay. That's really what that's all about. All right. The third thing, another reason why you may not be gaining lean mass, if you're not getting enough rest. More is not better. I see a lot of people, a lot of clients come to me, a lot of people I see in talking groups and social media, whatever. uh, 3 days a week weight training, HIIT class, hot works, hot yoga, Pilates. I'm going to go for 15,000 steps a day, all of these things and doing all this stuff. And I really love what Kelly Hogan said in a talk that will be coming out in a couple weeks that I did with her. She was saying her doctor or her mentor at one point when she first started doing carnivore was telling her she needs to stop telling her body that a bear is chasing her all the time. Okay. When we are always on the go, we're in that fight or flight. When we're always active, we're always stressed, we're always doing something physical, our body never gets a chance to chill out. It literally thinks that there's a bear chasing us all the time, and it keeps that cortisol up. It keeps that adrenaline up. It keeps the testosterone, growth hormone, IGF, all of the hormones and systems in our body that are anabolic that help us grow are shut down. Okay. So if you never take a rest, then you're never going to grow. Right. So here's the deal. You got to give your body the things it needs, protein to grow muscle. You got to tell your body that you want it to grow by challenging yourself. And then you have to give it time to grow. Give it that space. Muscle doesn't grow during the work time. It grows during the rest time. Okay. Keep that in mind. All right. So those are the three big things to understand about gaining muscle. Fat loss is literally, guys, you guys have heard me talk about fuel calories and functional calories. Okay. Functional calories don't go towards fuel utilization, they go towards metabolic function. Fuel calories, fat and carbs, go towards fuel utilization. Okay. So if you want to manage your fuel storage on your body, then you need to manage the fuel intake. Okay. This is where people get caught up a little bit. Okay. We think that exercise, the more exercise we do, the more body fat we're going to lose. And that is true to a point. Here's the thing that only works while you're doing it. Okay. If you do cardio for an hour, you're going to burn some fat. If you want to burn that same amount of fat by doing cardio 6 months from now, you'll have to do 2 hours or 3 hours because your body becomes more efficient at burning fuel. So the activity of the cardio that you're doing doesn't burn as much fuel. Think about that. If you're doing cardio for fat loss, you are going to, if you haven't already, you're going to run into a wall. You don't have enough time in your day to use cardio as a fat burning tool. You just don't. Okay. The way that you do it is by reducing your intake. Building muscle is going to help you burn more fat. Reduce your intake. That's going to give you less fat to burn. Okay. The less you burn with what you eat, the more you can burn with what's on your body. All right. Body composition from a muscle building perspective is about building muscle, physical activity, rest, and protein. Body composition from a fat loss perspective is about the nutrition of managing the fuel intake that you have. Okay. I'm not talking about total calories. I'm breaking down specifically. We're talking carnivore. Let's talk carnivore now. Okay. I'm assuming that your carbs are under 5 or 10 grams a day. We're talking fat. Manage your fat intake and you will lose body fat. I promise you. I promise you. Okay. We're not talking about people who are dealing with metabolic issues where healing should be their major priority, not body composition. Okay. That's a whole nother discussion. I might do another video on that a whole nother day. There is a case to be made, and there are many people who are focused on body composition when really they should be focused on healing, and they're getting things mixed up. And that's where a lot of confusion between high fat, high protein, all these other kind of stuff comes into play. Okay. High fat, higher fat, and I'm not going to say high because it's not an absolute. Higher fat for some individuals is absolutely beneficial, not at the expense of protein. Never, ever, ever at the expense of protein. I don't care how much healing your body has to do, you cannot afford to skimp on protein. You can be as high fat as you want to, get your protein. You need it. Okay? Don't forget that. All right. So that's the body composition stuff on the macro side and the exercise side. How do we adjust? Okay. So I'm going to use nutrition and exercise to manage my body composition. Great. On the protein side specifically, this is where some people can get confused. Okay. How much is too much? Is there too much protein? There can be too much. There can be too much of anything. Okay. If you're eating a lot of protein, particularly if you're eating only 1 or 2 meals a day, you could see some things going wonky. Maybe your A1C goes up. Maybe some things are going on and you're like, wait, what's going on? I don't understand. My creatinine is going up. My bun's going up, all these different things. Okay. Spread your protein out. If you want to have a higher amount of protein, eat 3 meals a day. Break it up a little bit. Don't put it all in your face all at the same time. Okay. I almost never, pretty much never recommend OMAD. I think most people should be 2 to 3 meals a day, and that's a really good place for your body to enjoy what's going on. Okay. Hold on, got something in my eye. Got an eye itch. Got an eye itch. What's up, Linda? What's going on? I think I saw Tom Digliani on there, man. I haven't seen Tom in forever, man. How you doing? All right. So on the protein side, the amount of protein you should start with, I think everyone should start with. And here's the deal, guys. Honestly, for 90% of the people that I work with, 90% of the people watching this right now, this should be a great starting point and a good point for you to be at for a pretty long time. Okay. And here's the thing I want you to remember. Here's the note that goes with this recommendation. Once you get this number, don't go below it. Okay. Your starting number for your protein intake is 1 gram per pound of lean mass. Just starting number. So if you weigh 200 pounds and you're 25% body fat, you have 150 pounds of lean mass. You should be getting 150 grams of protein in your body every day. Okay. 3 meals, 50 grams a piece. Boom, you're done. Hook, line, and sinker. Okay. That's what we're looking at. So if you are, if you have 100 pounds of lean mass, then you should be getting 100 grams of protein per day. The only caveat and exception I have to this rule, this guideline, guidance, whatever your recommendation, is women that are petite. Okay. I use my mom as an example. Okay. She's 5'3", 5'4", something like that, like 110 pounds. She has like 85, 90 pounds of lean mass on her body. All right. I want her at 100 grams of protein no matter what. So if you are a smaller petite woman and your lean mass is low, right? I have some women who are in the 75 pounds of lean mass. They need more protein than that. I want particularly women who are postmenopausal, who are in those 40, 50, 60 range, okay? And you're fighting sarcopenia, you're fighting osteoporosis, you're fighting all of these life issues that are directly related to the loss and the reduction of lean mass. I want you to have a minimum of 100 grams of protein a day, if not more. Okay, so if you're at 100 pounds or less of lean mass, you should be getting 100 grams of protein, if not 120, 130 per day. That's your goal. That's what I want you to work up to. Okay. Now, for people who are athletic, take myself for instance. Okay. I weigh about a 180, 185. I do currently I'm at about 220 grams of protein a day, 200 to 220 grams of protein a day. Okay. I can gain lean mass and I can maintain lean mass at about 185. I'm trying to seriously grow. I'm trying some stuff out right now. I'm experimenting. So I'm a little higher than that. But 1.2 for people who are super athletic, who are trying to build muscle, focused on that specifically for performance gains or whatever it is, 1.2 is a good number. I don't see a case for many people, most people, nobody that I work with, to be above 1.2 grams of protein per pound of lean mass. Okay. So you can go higher. And this is the thing. People ask me all the time, is there an upper limit? Not really. There's not really a recorded, documented upper limit of protein intake. Okay. When you take it, if you take 300 grams a day, I would recommend that's 4 or 5 meals a day for sure. So you give your body a chance to process and not overload things all at once. But as an intake per day, there are studies of people for several weeks at a time doing upwards of 3 times their body weight in kilograms. So if I weigh 100 kilograms, doing 300 grams of protein a day, okay, with no problem. No problem. They actually improved their body composition. They gained muscle. They lost fat. No liver issues. Nothing. Everything was cool. Okay. So the upper limit on protein, I wouldn't worry about that as much as I would making sure you're getting enough. Okay. Now, the way that you moderate that, how do you find out if it's enough? If you start at 1 gram per pound of lean mass and then you're doing your stuff, okay, 3 to 4 weeks is a trend, 4 to 5 weeks really, but 3 weeks at a minimum. Track it for 3 or 4 weeks. Am I gaining lean mass? Hopefully you have an in-body composition scanner at home so you can track your lean mass, you can track your body composition. Am I gaining lean mass? Am I getting stronger? Am I having more energy in the gym? Am I sleeping better? Okay, am I having any hormone issues? If I did have the hormone issues, are they improving? More protein is going to help hormone issues. More protein is going to help immune system. All sorts of different things, okay? We don't realize all these different things about what protein can do, okay? I don't know if you guys know, but some hormones are made from fatty acids. Some hormones are made from amino acids. And if you're not getting enough protein, your hormones can be just as much as messed up as if you're not getting enough fat. Okay, I'm going to say that again. If you're not getting enough protein, your hormones can be just as messed up as if you're not getting enough fat. You need protein just as much as you need fat. In some cases, more, because protein drives metabolic function. Keep that in mind. All right. So you got to check these things. How are you doing with the increase in protein? Things should be getting better. Are you growing hair? Are your fingernails getting stronger? Any skin issues going away? All that kind of stuff. If you feel like you're not gaining lean mass enough, if you feel like you're still not feeling that strength improvement or that improvement of performance in the gym, things like that, then up it. There's nothing wrong with upping it as long as you don't go below your minimum. Okay. So if you want to go 5 or 10 or 15 pounds higher over a period of time, perfectly fine. Have a blast, go do it. Okay. That is totally up to you. Totally. It's all about quality of life. Do you enjoy your meals? Do you have any gastric distress? Some people, when they increase their protein too fast, they eat too much meat, they may have some issues gut-wise. That's another discussion. But there's a lot of things that can go into that. So increasing your protein, I'm all for it. Have a blast. Okay. Decreasing your protein, find your number, stay there. Don't go low. Don't go below it. Okay. On the fat side of things, now let me go back to the protein real quick. If so, I had somebody ask me, they're saying they were doing like 220 grams of protein a day and they think it might be too much. Feel free to drop it. The evaluation process and the finding where your threshold is works in both directions. So if you know that your minimum is, let's say, 150 grams, that's your lean mass. So that's my minimum. You can go as high as you want and you can go as low as you want to that minimum and play around where you think you're getting the best result. If you can get a great result of lean mass gain, improvements in the gym, feeling better, hair's better, energy's better, hormones are better, all that kind of stuff, going from 150 to 175, then do you need to be at 200? Probably not. Okay, so the idea of minimum effective dose matters here. It matters in all of these places. Whenever we're talking about making a change in adjustment, minimum effective dose is what we're looking for. So if you're working well and your body likes it and you like it and your performance likes it at 175, then the excess money that you're spending on food, right? And the excess processing of protein that your body has to do by eating 200 to 220 is a waste of time. You're not really getting any benefit out of it. The point of diminished returns is been surpassed. Okay, so go down to 175, have a blast. See if that works. See how that works for you. All right. Same thing on the fat side. Same thing on the fuel calorie side. If you're making an adjustment, I'm trying to lose body fat. Okay. Start at the 1 gram per pound of lean mass. I want 150 grams. If my lean mass is 150 pounds, I want 150 pounds of fat. I'm going to eat 150 pounds of fat. I'm going to track it for 3 or 4 weeks. Did I gain fat? Did I lose fat? If I gained fat, then I know 150 is too much. If I lost fat, I can stay there. I don't need to change anything. If you lose fat at 1-to-1, you don't need to change anything. Okay. If you don't lose fat, then let's knock it down 5 or 10 grams. Okay. Key to adjustments, we try not to jump more than 5 or 10 grams at a time. for 2 to 3 to 4 weeks at a time. It's not, I'm going to drop it 5 grams, and then in a week, I'm going to drop another 5 grams. In a week, I'm going to drop another 5 grams so that in a month, I've dropped 20 grams. No, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for that point, that threshold. Where is the minimum number I can be at in order to lose body fat? That's the number we're looking for, your fuel calorie threshold. If you start at 150 and you're gaining fat, and you go to 145 and you're gaining fat, and you go to 140 and you're gaining fat, and you go to 135, oh, I lost half a pound this week. Oh, at 135, oh, I lost half a pound the next week. I lost half a pound the next week. 135 is below your fuel intake threshold. So that as long as you're not going over 135, you should lose body fat at a consistent rate. That's all it is, guys. The management of macronutrients to help manage your body and build yourself a body composition that you're happy with is all about getting the protein that you need and not over consuming the fat that you need. That's it. Okay. Manage the fat on its own. Manage the protein on its own. It is a minimum, not a maximum. Manage the fat on its own. It is a maximum, not a minimum. Okay. Keep that stuff in mind. And remember, on the fat, when you're trying to lose fat, if 135 is guys, don't do this. If 135 is your threshold and you're losing body fat at a consistent rate at 135 grams a day, don't drop it to 80 just so you can lose fat faster. Okay? Sustainable change is healthy. Drastic change can be detrimental to your health. Small, incremental changes that allows your body to maintain homeostasis and a level of function it is comfortable with while you're changing that, slightly pushing that comfort zone a little bit. Okay. We don't go from here's the line of our comfort zone, okay, to all the way over there with our body when it comes to our health. We go from here's the line to our comfort zone to here's the line to the next level. Incremental changes are sustainable. Large, drastic shifts are not. And you will hit a wall every single time and have to come back to where you started. Okay? Small changes over time will win the race. Have a blast, guys. Take it easy.